media, see if there's any questions popping through. And if they have any social media questions, I should be able to pick them up. The only thing would be LinkedIn. I won't be able to respond in LinkedIn, but all the other social medias will see it. But I will see your questions so I can pass them along to Jennifer. And Jennifer, look chat. Okay, so someone's in transit. Okay, cool. No problem.
Do you hear my dogs barking?
Can everyone give a thumbs up if you hear the dogs barking? I heard one dog.
I do.
Okay.
Yeah. I have a cat. I almost sat on Bubbles.
Oh,
I came here
no.
to sit in here, and I'm like, good thing I looked because I have a blanket on the couch, and I'm like, what is that big mound underneath the blanket? And I I touched this. I almost sat on you. She's over here. She's quiet. But she'll let you know.
Lugnut is the neighborhood watch. He's watching out the window right now.
Okay.
And my other two, Dunkel and Marmalade, are sitting here by my feet, and Dunkel stays pretty quiet. But if Lugnut's sounding the alarm, Marmalade might join in.
Okay.
So sounds like they've quieted down. Maybe we'll get through this without him barking again. All right, well, Greg, I'm happy to be back. I know we didn't quite get through as much material as we wanted to in the last. We did get through this slide deck I prepared. We didn't get through any of the activities. So thank you for having me back to introduce those activities. And then I know that we have people who may not have been on the first one. So let's introduce myself. My name is Jennifer Steelman. I am a trainer with Pro Kanban. And the topic that I presented that this is kind of an extension of is on Kanban and some basics of Kanban. So we went through the three practices of actively managing your workflow, defining and visualizing your workflow, and improving your workflow, as well as the minimum measures last time of limiting width, managing work item age, cycle time, and throughput. And we talked a little bit about the SLE, which is the service level expectation, which you can use to help the team can use internally as a way to manage their items on the board, managing the age of those items. They can also use it to determine if an item is too big to bring in. And then also externally, they can use that as a way of communication to other teams. So for instance, I'm an Agile coach. Yes.
Are you sharing the presentation?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Nope.
Not yet.
I'm not sharing. We're just talking. So I'm an Agile coach, and I work with Kanban teams, and those Kanban teams work with various Scrum teams throughout the organization as well. One of the things that Scrum teams often want to know is when something's going to be done. Well, anyone wants to know when something's going to be done, right? But one of the Scrum teams often has something that they're waiting on from another team, something to be done from that team, so that they can plan when they're going to be able to use that thing they're waiting on. So the SLE can also be used as a way to set that expectation, or at least drive communication around it.
Okay, and I just want to test, make sure if you can hear it. We got a delay going on the social media, so when the social media, there's gonna be a delay of a little bit. I'm just checking out LinkedIn right now. I can hear you fine, Jennifer. So you're broadcasting live in LinkedIn and YouTube and Facebook. Yep, we're good.
Awesome.
All the sounds. Usually last time I got everyone going, I can't hear you. So I think I figured it out, which is good, right? All right. Well, thank you all. Thanks for that little interrupting spot you gave me there.
Yeah.
We're good now. So however you want to do it, anybody, do you want to go over some of the questions people had beforehand or anything like that, or do you just or to answer questions anybody has in here to make sure we cover them? Do your exercise. You want to do the exercise first and then go
Yeah.
into Kanban questions?
I'd say let's bring us into some questions, because the questions can then help. We start off with questions, and as we do the exercises, I think kind of tie some of that back to questions that we had as well.
Just approving another person just signed up. All right, let's see if we got some questions. Anybody online now have any questions? Because what I'm going to do, I'm just going to look at what people asked. Is Maru on? Nope. Maru's not on yet. Maru asked any topics, metric, strategy, architecture, value management. So anything you can cover related to that in Kanban would be good.
Okay.
Those are items.
That's a broad topic there. And you said that person's not on yet?
Not on yet, no.
Okay, let's wait for that one then. That way we can maybe
okay, do you
narrow
want
it down a bit or make sure that we're covering it for the person.
Okay. Well, Scott's not here yet. He's out playing softball. Was Culloden? No. Here's another question. The impact and improvements Kanban has brought to specific organization studies, stuff like that. So if you have any organizational studies you can mention, would be nice.
Okay. I don't have any formal ones that I've done. I've had teams make improvements in how they work. One of it is just basically helping the team see that the way they approach the work and how many things they're trying to work on at a given time impacts how long things may take. So the more things you're trying to do, the longer those things are going to take to get done.
Okay.
And over time, you're going to end up doing less. So as a team starts looking at that and looking at their process, then they start uncovering things that are holding them up. So I had a team, for instance, who had a step in their process that relied on people outside the team to validate the work that they did. So they actually had that validation step in before they delivered it, which is great. We want that feedback before it gets out in the world, and it's later and more expensive to be able to change things at that point. But the part of the process was really holding them up in creating long cycle times for them.
Okay.
And so that team started taking a look at different things they could control. So a lot of teams would throw up their hands and say, I can't control it. Like they're going to take as long as they take.
Yeah.
But they started looking at what could they control. And so they started doing little experiments to try to improve the readiness to set those expectations with the people who would be needing to validate. And one of the first steps was to realize how long they were really taking, how long the team actually took on doing an item. And so getting used to that, just basically starting to visualize their work, measure it, look at their metrics, look at cycle time, and getting an idea of how long things took. We looked at their SLE, and based on that, they were able to start communicating to people that getting ready to start this work.
Okay.
And in about 5 days, I'm going to be ready for you to review it. Are you ready? Will you be ready? does that work for you? And so if the person came back and said, no, I'm going to be on vacation and I'm not going to be ready to review it, then, you have an opportunity then to say, okay, I'm not going to pick this up yet. Or if you have someone else, maybe there's someone else I can reach out to something the team wouldn't have known had they just started it and worked through it. So they've been able to make some improvements. They still have some things that kind of hold them up, but some improvements over that have really helped with the predictability for that team.
Okay.
And
hey,
then,
Jennifer, do you want to share? Why don't you share your screen and then kind of see if that jogs any questions that we might have?
Yeah. Okay. I'm not sure what I would share at this moment, though. So let me answer the other part of that. So to give it a little bit deeper answer to that question, out on Pro Kanban's website under resources, there's a lot of information, and there are some case studies in there as well. Let me think. Okay, let me go ahead and look at my slide deck and see what might be a good place to open it up to.
Okay.
I certainly don't want to go through the whole slide deck we went through last time. So, but yeah, if there's another question as it comes up or on that, please feel free to go ahead and ask.
Does anybody have any free-for-all Kanban questions for Jennifer? Call her on the spot. Ask pop quiz questions.
Kind of reminds me of we do this ask a Kanban trainer meetup or session where different Kanban trainers join and it's kind of like people join and ask their questions. So the way you kick that off kind of reminded me of it.
Maybe we should do that. Okay. Let's see. Oh, Lisa Tate. She wants to join. Comcast.net. I'll add her.
Are there any other questions that people have?
They're all like, how do you do? Okay, here's one. Kai, or joined late. How we analyze task processes, which could be that could be anything.
Yeah, will they come on?
They're invited. Whip limits. Marina, who was on here, she asked about whip limits. So if you want to touch on whip limits, they could be things. She asked about that, but I don't think she can. She's driving.
Okay. Well, that does give me something I can screen share with. So let me share my screen and talk to whip limits a bit. All right. So some of the questions that people have. I think one of the main questions people have when looking at whip limits is teams are often hesitant to limiting their work in progress. They don't know what to limit to, and so always people ask, what's the best practice or what formula? Like where should we start? And I think the best thing I've heard to respond to that answer, and the one that I use, is it doesn't really matter where you start. There's no one formula that fits everyone. So it doesn't matter where you start. Just start somewhere and expect that to be wrong. In other words, start with limiting somewhere. Look at what you have in progress today. Cut that by a certain thing, whether you want to do something like cut it in half or cut it by, cut a third or whatever. But reduce that number of items that you have in progress, and then determine how long you want, treat it as an experiment, and determine how long you're going to need out of the data to inform how that experiment worked. And as you start gathering view, are you shortening your cycle time? Are you increasing your throughput based on that? And so by looking at things such as your cycle time, scatter plot, and your throughput, make adjustments from there. So start somewhere and then assume it's going to be wrong. So in other words, just make a decision. Start if the team's got 15 in progress and they want to go to 10. Start there and determine it. Like what's the length of time that we want to run this experiment, and then look at the data, see how it's what changes, how the data has been affected, and then make those determine whether to keep it at that new number or decrease it some more, increase it slightly. Maybe you need a little more time. So just kind of take that as a continuous process that you're reviewing it.
Thanks, Jennifer. One question here. Like in your previous example where people were waiting on someone to approve their work, do you move your work to on hold, or you keep it in WIP?
Well, it depends on, so the screen I'm sharing right now, that first thing is, it refers to making your policies explicit. So how are you controlling the WIP, and what happens when you are having a situation where you're going to go over WIP? I think that, Marina, that question that you have is, if that person's not ready to review it, what happens? And in my first reaction would be that's blocked. It stays in that column where it's at, and it becomes blocked until that person is ready to review.
Because it's not really a WIP. That's what I'm struggling to explain to the team.
It is, though. It's still not done. So your work in progress is anything that is from the time you bring it into in progress to when it is complete.
I'm not really listening. I'm late to it anyway.
I was going to get a piece of chalk.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. I think we're good on, why don't we jump into the exercises, because we're at the halfway mark almost.
Okay. All right. So we need some volunteers, and it depends on how many volunteers we get, on which I'm going to start with, or which one we'll be able to do. So let's see, can we use like a raised hand or something on I think for this to work best, you're going to need to come off of camera, or come on to camera, come on to camera and be off mute. So I'd like to invite volunteers.
Are you just having them volunteer for something and they have no idea?
Yeah.
Or are you just making them blindly volunteer?
I am.
Oh, geez.
This is a blind volunteer.
Jennifer's nice. She's a nice person sometimes. So anybody want to volunteer? Anybody want to raise their hand?
This is why. If I get 5 to 7 volunteers, we do one exercise. If I only get one or two volunteers, we're stuck with the other exercise.
Okay, so we at least need 1 or 2 volunteers besides me. Who wants to volunteer?
This is Kenya. I can volunteer, but I'm not sure what I'm volunteering.
That's okay. Thank you. Thank you for being brave. How about this? Let me get a sense of how many volunteers we have, and then you'll have an option to opt out. I'll introduce it. So say if you're willing, and then I'll introduce it. And then if it's, it's not something you're willing to do, you have an option to back out. So
or give us a thumbs up reaction or something like that. If you're in the Zoom call, you can volunteer. The internet.
Yeah, just get home. Okay.
It's not that bad. I saw it. I mean, I'll volunteer too as one of the people. Anybody else on the Zoom call want to volunteer? Yeah, who's new? We got a new. So not to pull people out like I see.
I can volunteer.
Okay.
Thank you, Marina.
So we're
I
gonna
can volunteer, but I don't know anything about Kanban. So
well, you're the
told me-
volunteer. I was going to volunteer.
Okay.
He said
Yeah,
he's
that's
new to Kanban. And is it a run?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
me.
All right. Then we got enough volunteers.
Okay, let's see.
So
we
you at least have 3. So if you want to
Right.
do the first one, let's do the first one.
Okay. All right, we'll do the first one. All right, so I really need 2 of you for the first one. So before one of you back out, let me introduce you. Stop my share, queue up that space, and I'll reshare.
I need to grab my.
Yep. Okay. So this is what we're doing. The challenge is we need one person who will kind of do the activity, and then one timekeeper. And what you're going to do is you are going to recite numbers 1 through 7, the alphabet A through G, and the colors of the rainbow. And to give you some help, because I look at the colors of the rainbow by like their name, I gave them on the screen as well.
So we have red,
So-
orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet as colors of the rainbow on the right-hand side.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to put this out in podcast, so sometimes I have to give a verbal description of what's out there for those people in the podcast world.
Please do that. Thank you, Greg, for pointing that out, because I'm not really used to podcasts.
We'll get you.
So
There.
what the
We'll get
what
you
the
there, Jennifer.
differences are.
Jennifer, you'll be a
Yeah.
podcast star one day.
Okay, awesome. All right, so and since 3 of you volunteered, you're welcome to like maybe do more than one of you try this. But what we're going to do is,
Recite.
what was that, Marina? Sorry.
I can recite.
Okay. Okay, so here it is. Here are the instructions. 1 person, 1 worker, 1 time creeper. Sorry, two people. There's 2 roles. One's the worker role and one's the timekeeper role. For the instructions for the worker is start all items at the same time. Complete by working on all items. So you're going to say 1A red. You're not going to say all the numbers in a row. You're not going to say all the letters in a row, because that would be working on one thing at a time. Instead, you're going to work on each thing simultaneously. So
Who's going to move the
Going-
pieces around? Are you moving them around?
yeah, because we don't have people in here. Are you both able to join if I invite you to if I bring the board and test that part?
No, we didn't.
Let me
If
fix
you
that.
want, you can put it in the Zoom the chat.
Yeah, it was like I had a presentation mode of the Zoom. So let me presentation. And now.
Now, has everyone worked in Miro or a whiteboard before? Similar to that? Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to log off and log back on my laptop. So
Okay.
Okay,
it's a bad thing. That's on the bad
Greg.
thing. Be right back. Give me.
great.
Not sure if I can participate, but be right back.
Greg, it looks like I can only give you message directly to you.
Oh,
No,
did you message
share
me?
that out. I did.
Everyone in the meeting.
No, if this doesn't work quickly, then I'll do the moving of things.
Did you send me a message? Because I'm not seeing it. There it is. Copy link.
Apparently, you have to hit send.
That would work.
I didn't.
Well, good to remind me. So I just put it posted up to everyone in the chat.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's one of the extra layers of. It asked me, "Do you want to make sure no one can chat?" Yeah, that works for me. Learned a lot of lessons when we got hacked the first time. I just clamped it all down.
All right.
So everyone should have access to it now.
Marina and Arun, you had both volunteered as well, right? Would need to mirror board and we know if you're able to. I'm used to having all kinds of
You know, I even upgraded my bandwidth to be a lot larger and still like, ooh.
I use all kinds of blocks and patterns and stuff that I have to have for the one through work. This one, let's see. Oh, we are still having it. Okay, request access. I can do that. That's good. Okay, I'm gonna update it so that anyone with the link can edit it.
Okay.
So you can view it now. See if you can get in there.
Loading.
Yeah.
Asking me to set up the team. They do that.
Well, you shouldn't have to set up a team.
I'm in Mira, but I don't see the board.
Okay. I see, Carlos, I see you in here now.
Yes, I just been asking to log in for everyone, and then if you click the link, after you log in, you click the link again, it will work.
Okay.
Okay,
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
awesome. Look that in. Oops, okay.
Well, then you can share your screen.
Yes,
If you want.
go back to share my screen.
Mine's still spinning. There he goes.
I don't even have that many things on the screen.
That's it.
The person who's doing the work, the person who's doing the reciting of this information, that's the person who's going to be moving things into in progress and then moving things to done. So you're going to be doing that while you're talking also. And then the person who's keeping is going to be recording over here at the start of the item when it ends and when it finishes. So I was going to, you know, that's your start. When someone when they finish the last number, you know, the last number. So when they say 7, that's the end of 7. Finish the alphabet. Finish just the letter G. We're not going through A through Z. So when they say the letter G, that's record that time for when the alphabet finishes, and then when the color violet is said, that's when you record the time for rainbow finish. We're just going to do round 1 first. So you'll record each of those. I will have the timer up in Miro for you to gain that information from. You will probably need to, so I would plan on, please plan on recording the start time based on what you see in Miro also. That way the time isn't going right when I start the clock necessarily. And if you feel more comfortable writing those on a piece of paper as you record them, or writing them somewhere, typing them on your own screen, and then putting them into the mirror board. That's probably going to be a little faster than some of these numbers are going to come really fast. Okay, any questions? Marina, I think you said you would recite who will be our timekeeper. Arun, you had volunteered before as well. Would you like to be the timekeeper?
Okay, to Marina, right? Marina's timekeeper.
Yes, you're her timekeeper.
No, Arun, you're going to be the timekeeper, so you keep track of the time.
For everybody, right? Is it? Or I just keep track of one person.
Just one person.
Just one person. It's only one person's going to be doing the exercise. So, Marina, do you have any questions before you start the exercise?
Yeah, my stopwatch is ready.
Don't start yet.
Yeah, I got
okay,
my stopwatch here.
You got a stopwatch. Okay, okay. I'll have you do the stopwatch then versus the mirror timer, because I think that's going to be more precise. Okay. All right. So, Marina, are you able to be in the board? Are you in the board?
Yes.
Okay. You test. Do you need to test moving things around or anything like that?
So, do you want me to recite or to move them as well?
Yes. So, let me do a quick example. So, I'm going to start, and I'll do like on one, I'm going to start. So 3, 2, 1. Okay. 1, 2, or sorry, I messed up. That's okay. 1, A, 2, orange.
Okay, and when
2, yeah.
as I've done with the last number, like last letter and last color.
Yeah. It'll be like
Marina, all this reactivity.
Yeah, also, and you can see kind of tough because I just tried it. And
I'm going to say Scrum is a lot easier than Kanban at this point in time.
That's fair. So far, yeah.
Okay, are you ready with timekeeping?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. 1, A, red. 2, B, orange. 3, C, yellow. 4, D, green. 5, E, blue. 6, F, indigo. 7, G, violet.
Okay, 21 seconds, 98. Right? Is it a nanosecond? So it's 22 seconds.
Okay, that's for the full thing.
Yeah. Oh, I did not keep track of each one.
That's
I put
okay.
everything as one. Should we do it again for each one?
Yeah. You know what? Let's go ahead and put that number in. Okay. What did you have? Could you say it again?
22 seconds.
22?
Yeah.
Okay. Was that, I thought you said something like more like 21 point something.
21.98.
Okay. Okay. So then that got on 21.9. We're going to put that on a sticky note instead so that we have it to the side. So 21.98, and yeah, so that was a good practice round. If you want to go ahead and do it one more time. This time, Arun, if you would go ahead and record the finish on the last number, the last alphabet, and then the last color.
Okay, that could be very fast. Okay.
Right. Right.
But you just want the 7th when she reads 7 and when she reads indigo and then she reads violet. That's what, right? I don't have to track for each color.
Yeah, 7, right, correct. 7, G, and violet. Okay.
Okay, ready? Arun, are you ready?
Right. Go ahead.
3, 2, 1. 1A red, 2B orange, 3C yellow, 4D green, 5E blue, 6F indigo, 7G violet.
So I think 13, and 13.2 and 13.5. That's what I got it, because the last two went very fast. But there was an infraction. 13.2, 13. Yeah, 13. You can put 13. That's fine.
Dot one.
Yeah, 13.
Okay.
13.2, 13.5.
Say that last number again.
Dot 5.
5. Okay. Got it. All right. Well, that was a big improvement, just having that practice round. Nice. Okay, cool. All right, well, we cut that time in half already almost. Actually, yeah, not quite half. Okay, so this next one, the next round you're going to do, this time you're going to limit your work in progress to one item at a time. So each card, consider each card an item. And so, Arun, you've got extra stuff in your job this time is that you're going to record for each one. You're going to record the start and the finish. So your start for the numbers would be, at 0. Your finish will be when she finishes the number 7. And so then once she pulls that alphabet item into progress and starts with the alphabet, you're going to record the time that she starts with A, and then the time she finishes with G, and then do the same for the colors. Okay?
Okay, Arun, tell me when you're ready.
Yeah, just a All right, go.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Red, orange, yellow, green, indigo, violet. I'm red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. It's hard to, look at the colors and look
Right.
You want to do that again?
Yeah, let's do that.
But before we do it again, Arun, did you get any of those numbers?
Yeah, I did. So the 7 was ended in 3.5 seconds. And then G was 7.5. And then B was violet, right? Was at 15.58, right? But it was very fast for me to track that starting point. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, no, that's okay. Can you look at that again and get those numbers that you just did it? Was that how you said it?
Yeah, you can do that. You can document it. So let's say 7 at the 3.5 seconds.
Okay.
And then the letter G was at 7.5 seconds.
Okay.
And then violet was at 15.58.
8. Okay. And is
because
that
yeah, so I think Marina had repeated the colors in the
Yes, because I missed it.
Yep. I think it was blue, right? Okay, good. And we didn't talk about what would happen if you missed a color. So yes, you started over. That's perfect. Okay. Also, Arun, if you could work on this point for this round, try to collect that start time of each one also.
Then she's got to take a breath. So she got to breathe, like do 1 through 7, breathe, and take it.
Yeah,
right.
work at a sustainable.
Keyboard
Work at a sustainable pace here. Okay, good. Anytime you're ready.
Okay, Arun,
Yeah.
tell me when you are ready.
Right. Yeah, go ahead, please.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. A, B, C, D, F, E, G. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet.
No, it's still too fast for me to catch this talking.
That's okay.
It's
That's
too
okay.
fast for me. This time it's 3.97 plus 57, and G is at 8.5, but Violet has completed a lot faster, 11.6. And but because Marina's start is like almost a 1 second later, right? We can subtract the first item. I saw that 1 second.
Oh, you started. Okay.
The first, the numbering.
So is
Because
it
by the
started-
time I thought that it was 1 second.
Okay. Okay. So 1 to 3.97.
Then 8.5. The last one was 11.6.
Okay. And then the last one was how much? I didn't hear you.
11.6. 11.
Okay. All right. So, and I think Marina, I'm not gonna. There was maybe a little quality issue with round 2 with the numbers. Or the letters. I think I heard you not say a letter, but that's okay. We're not gonna dwell on that. However, let's look at these numbers. So, the first time we're gonna throw out the first time there, that was practice round. So when you were trying to do all of the items at once, it took you 13.1 seconds before you delivered anything. Now 13.1 seconds is like so small, it doesn't matter. This is just a teeny tiny exercise. But think of the things that you would be doing and how much this extends onto, so if you have a 5-hour task and you're trying to do these other things intermingled in, all of those things are extending out. So numbers in the first round where we were doing all 3 things at once, 13.1 to finish the first, to deliver the first thing. And 13.5 came right after it to deliver the last thing. However, in round 2, where you focused on just one, limiting your work in progress to one item at a time, you delivered much faster. So your first one, Arun, if I understood you correctly, with a start time of 1 second in and a finish time at 3.97 seconds, then then it actually only took 2.97 seconds. Did I say I'm not okay? So 2.97 seconds. The 7 and the seconds were throwing me off. Yeah.
You know what? If you don't mind me interjecting here, I just figured out a way that how laps works. If you want to go one more round, I could do this start. I don't have to write it. I must keep writing it out. Just now I figured that out. If you want it, we can do that.
Yeah. No, that's okay. I think this gives our point with this. But thank you so much for that. Yeah. So at 2.97 seconds in, she delivered her first item. And then 8.5 seconds, she delivered her second item. And then at the end, now this could be probably that she's getting, better at it as she goes, but she still finished the last item in under the amount of time that it took for all 3 of those things to be done, delivered simultaneously. So there's just a few things I want to just kind of, I just want to ask, what are your observations on this? I mean, some of them may be very obvious depending on how well you know.
Like multitasking is bad. We know that.
Yeah.
But it's very hard to concentrate. Like it requires a lot more effort to do 1A red.
Right. Yes. And yet, what do we see? What do we do? why don't we think of this in our day-to-day work when somebody's asking us to go ahead and start this, you know, like, hey, here's this new thing I need you to do.
You execute one at a time.
Yeah,
That's multitasking.
yeah, it's hard. It's hard to say, no, I can't bring that. I can't add that one more thing on my plate right now.
I just think about the exercise, just thinking about way people look at epics and stories and stuff. It'd be interesting if you had like the recite numbers and alphabet and colors would be epics, and then you would have little cards for each number. It might slow down the exercise a little bit. So this, because it was very hard to time it and all, but if you put like a 1 through 7 and A through G little cards in there, and then the colors of the rainbow as cards, and people moved them across the board as they did it,
Yeah,
it might emphasize more the difference in speeds. It broken down that way a little bit.
it may. Yeah. It adds time to it anyway. So
good exercise to do with a team. It's very convincing.
yeah, I had a small organization, a kind of a small startup that I worked with, that we just had so many things in progress. And in one of the sessions, kind of with the whole, it was, I think the whole organization was in it, I asked for a volunteer to come up and do this. And it was one of the program manager, the product managers. And it was just going through this process and just seeing, you know, people realize how much more effort it took for this simple task to be done simultaneously, that context switching, trying to concentrate on each of those things, and how much longer it took to get all of those things done versus just the plain, you know, like the one focus on one thing at a time.
Yeah. No, it's a great little exercise. And like I said, I was just adding that extra part to make it like reality. You know, when I got this big epic or big item I need to break down and going across, it'd be like, there you go. So you can work on all 3 epics that we're trying to do, and you know, one for each one or whatever. Would you consider all 3 of those in process at the same time? In progress? Like, or do you do one at a time?
Yeah. So in the first example, we had them all. So in round 1, we had them all in progress at the same time.
Okay.
And progress and process can be used interchangeably in this context. And in round 2, we just had one at a time. So yes, in round 2, we did not move. She didn't have, when she started number 1, she moved it to in progress, and then when she said number 7, she moved it to done, and then went on to the next section, to the next item in the backlog, in the to-do log. So I was trying to remember where I pulled this exercise from, and I don't think I've seen the original source lately, but it really reminds me of a clip from I may say his name wrong, but Heinrich Neuberg, he was at a giving a presentation to a talk somewhere, and he had little Post-its, huge Post-its that he is putting on the wall of a happy face. Mm-hmm. And so it's a very simple task of drawing a happy face. It's like a circle with the 2 dots and the, curvy mouth, so it's just that very simple task, but the simple task of doing those for each customer, of doing it one by one, draw the circle, or draw an eye, and then draw the eye for the next one, and then draw the eye for the next one, just that it took much longer to work on them simultaneously than to deliver one at a time. And then so another exercise that you can Google him for is the name game. And it's very similar, and it's you have a very similar exercise that you can do with a small group of people. So if we'd have had a few more people who had volunteered on it, that would have been the exercise that I would.
Can you show a picture of the one we didn't get to do?
A link, as well as, I don't know if this is gonna give you a lot of. I can share this link to you, Greg, if you want to share it out.
I'll share it out.
Okay.
Well, Dad, does anybody have, because we're getting close to the 7 o'clock hour mark, anybody have any questions to ask the Kanban expert here? And Jennifer, you're teaching a class on Kanban soon, right?
I am. I don't have the link set up yet for it, but I am looking at setting up a few classes coming up, a couple of the basic intro to Kanban, the AP, applying professional Kanban, APK.
Okay.
A couple of those, as well as I'm looking at a couple of offering the metrics and possibly applying flow metrics with Scrum this year as well. So yeah, I do have a few classes. I don't have them out there posted. I don't have a link to share.
We'll post them up on the Meetup. I don't have a problem posting things up.
Yeah.
Sharing things in the Meetup and everything for people to look into. So that's no big deal.
Awesome.
Cool.
Jennifer, will those classes help us with the certification, taking the test?
Yes. There's generally depends on how much what your level of Kanban, knowledge on Kanban is now. You may find that you want to do a little extra studying also for that certification. That it will help towards it, yes. As well as the class, if you take the class. So Pro Kanban actually is similar to other to Scrum.org in that it gives. You can go out and just buy the code and take the assessment, and potentially get, and if you pass the assessment with, I think it's an 85% score, then you are certified. If you take a class, you get 2 codes. So you have a chance to get a second code. And that's actually, I say that, but I should also add that as long as you take the class, then you take the assessment the first time within 2 weeks of the end of receiving the code. As long as you take it within the first 2 weeks after the class, then you have an opportunity to have that other code if you need it. So that's the advantage. The other advantage, I guess, of taking the class.
Okay, looks like Ron, you got a question?
Right. Jennifer, so you are going to take a class called that is something to do, but
I missed some of your question there. I cut out a little bit, but were you asking like how you would find out?
Yeah, the class that we are going to start.
Yes. So it's typically either a 2-day class or a 3-day with shorter time frame. I generally, so you can find them on the Pro Kanban website. You can find my classes as well as others. I don't have my classes out there yet, so it'll probably take about a week for them to get out there. But you can find current class offerings on the Pro Kanban website, and I can.
Have you figured out what month you're thinking about giving these classes, Jennifer?
Yes. I stopped sharing for a minute because I could not find my chat until I stopped share. So let me put in the link. So yes, where's my okay, so I am looking at possibly doing the basic applying professional Kanban in August and October, and then potentially applying metrics for predictability in June, and then maybe September.
So if you're looking for metrics, look at towards June or in September. You can learn all
Yeah.
about metrics.
And that is a deeper dive into the metrics. You still get some of the metrics information in the first class as well, or the other class as well.
Bubbles is here.
Hey, Bubbles. Arun, did that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Yeah, I also went through the Scrum.
Okay, I'm going to give the perkanban.org. Scrum.org will get you the Scrum classes. And there is a Scrum with Kanban class on scrum.org. So ProKanban came out with an applying flow metrics with Scrum. That's very similar to the applying metrics for predictability class, but with that's kind of the Scrum side of it. So how you use flow metrics in your Scrum.
Okay. And I just posted up that link you gave to everyone that's on the Zoom chat.
Awesome. Yeah, that's the name, and then I'm gonna send you the ProKanban.
You know what? I can put the
site also.
Should we put it? I'm gonna post a comment and see if I do it in here. All right, I posted the name game on social media. One out. There it goes.
Okay. And then yeah, here's the ProKanban website if you want to learn more about classes. And then also if you follow me, if we connect, I'll give you my information to connect with me on LinkedIn, and I post on when I do announce my classes, I post on my LinkedIn as well.
That would be great.
And I'm happy to connect. Any questions you have, any further conversation you want to have about Kanban, I'm happy to talk about it and answer any questions that you might have or about the classes or about Kanban in general.
Yeah, and Jennifer's connected on, I think, at least on the LinkedIn posts. So she will get, if you put a comment later on, she'll pick up on that also. I'll keep an eye out for them. So.
Okay.
Thank you very much. It was great. Thank you.
All right. Awesome. Thank you for participating, Marina and Arun. Thank you so much for volunteering for the exercise.
And trusting her. You are the people than I am. That's for sure.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, everyone. I'm going to end the social media.
Awesome. Well, thank you, everyone.